So I wanted to, this is an Inman article that I read recently. You all probably get the Inman email. You have to subscribe to get access to, I wouldn't subscribe. It's kind of expensive. The office staff leadership subscribes to it. And I just pulled some of these articles that I think are good to share with you guys. And I thought this was good because when you're a new agent, do you have lots of money to spend on your business? Jody's shaking his head almost violently. No, you usually don't. I get it. Most of us did not step into real estate with a big marketing budget. We stepped into real estate just getting our pennies together to pay for the licensing classes and the membership to KCRAR, MLS, and super, get your super EKI, right? So let's look at 5 different ways to do lead gen that are either little cost or no cost. Because I don't want you spending a lot of money. Matter of fact, while you can, if you have the budget, you can spend a lot of money on marketing, a lot of money on leads. And would you please, before you are tempted or someone is dangling a discount carrot in front of you, would you talk to me or your coach? Because we can help you do your due diligence so you don't jump on something and spend money. I've seen agents spend thousands of dollars on things that did not help them, usually in the beginning, because there's no magic in our business. And throwing money at something is really not the answer in real estate. It's sweat equity. And that's the sweet thing about it is when you're new, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just need to work really hard. And hey, that's what I had to do when I was a new agent. Work really hard and try to do things. I'm very thrifty. Matter of fact, I don't like to buy anything full price. I do some things, but oh boy, if I can get a bargain, that just made that purchase 10 times sweeter. I enjoy that item even more. My husband just laughs at me because he'll say, what'd you get? And I'm like, $5, $5 for this. Can you believe I got $5? And he'll be like, okay. Because he's not a bargain person. I am. So when I got into real estate, I wanted to do it effectively, but inexpensively. And so that's why when I started, I sent out newsletters, but I didn't send out a lot of them, and I did the free version. So all I had to do is cover the cost of postage. But I started out like maybe mailing 50 a month, and I worked up to 1,000 a month, and having a company do my newsletters professionally and mail them and do everything. But that didn't happen on day one. I wasn't spending that money until I made the money to be able to do that. So I did the thrifty version, and then I upscaled, right? So that's what I want you all doing. So if you are tempted, please don't fall for the sale lines that this is what you need. This is what's going to grow your business, or you need this. Just chill, talk to us. Those discounts will probably be there tomorrow. Even they say it's expiring today. Usually they'll still give you that. So don't fall for any of that. Because I see it and I'm like, oh, please, please, please don't do that. Okay. Good morning, Megan. Megan had some car issues. Nothing better than waking up in the morning and have your car not start. Yeah, no, it's not. I know. Okay, let's keep going. I have in this presentation. Okay. Is it possible to build a successful real estate business without a huge budget for leads? Absolutely. Matter of fact, most agents started their business without paying a dime for leads. I'm not saying leads can't be a good way to build business, but when you're new, it probably isn't. Because here's what you have to think of. One, you don't know this business very well yet. Two, you don't have your systems up and running. Three, you don't know what those systems should be. And two, and four, you don't know how to convert people well. So you can get leads and then not be able to know the types of conversations and questions you should be having with those leads to convert them. And so you will waste money because you don't know what you're doing yet. Now, if it's something you're hell bent on, then please, again, get with your coach and we'll help you come up with a plan to do that. It's just like the FSBOs and expireds, the ones that, the leads that you get every day, every weekday, right? Most of you do nothing with them, which is fine. It can be in a powerful way to build business and get listings. But if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not watching the videos that I have on there, if you're not going into Digital Chalk and watching the classes on FSBOs and expireds, you're going to be wasting your time. Because there is a true system and a follow-up that you need to do to get any traction with those. You can get lucky and maybe on one call get an appointment, but most of the time it takes a little time. So when you're starting out, the pressure to spend thousands of dollars on lead generation, well, Jaden doesn't know this yet, but you get a lot of emails, don't you? Get a lot of phone calls from marketers. You get very popular, Jaden. I know. You know why we're so popular? Yeah.
Good guess.
Here's what you need to know about real estate. The reason marketers and lead companies are so plentiful in our industry is because of our margins. Gary Keller, our analyst, we have a team of analysts that work at KWRI in Austin, Texas. And he had them do a study on what's the average profit margin for corporations across the United States, just the average. How much do you think that was? Percentage of profit margin they were making every year.
Guess a lot.
3 to 4% profit margin. That's why changes in the economy can affect so many companies so quickly, because they're not making a lot of profit. Well, think about overhead, staffing, materials, equipment, space, real estate that they have to have. It's very expensive to run a business. You're very fortunate. You have little to no overhead. That's what's magical about this. And your profit margins of our top agents in our industry is 20 to 25% profit margin. So to people out there wanting to make money, we look really good. Because they know some of our pockets can be really deep. And a lot of agents fall for it. And they literally make a lot of money, but they're not profitable because they spend it on all this stuff they think is going to create magic, and there is no magic. So if the only thing you get from today is be weary, then I succeeded. Because there's a lot, and I'm not saying I fell for dumb stuff, nothing very expensive, but at one point I thought I needed bookmarks, branded bookmarks. Well, I love to read. Well, I had, 1,000 of them or more. Took a long time to get rid of those bookmarks. So I've fallen for it too. Luckily not to the tune, but when I hear someone spending $1,000, $5,000, what have you, then I'm like, stop it. Stop it. Because you don't have to do that. That's what's cool about this business. Stop chasing. Whoa, whoa, no, you weren't to do that. Stop chasing, start attracting. Here's the difference, just so that we can really get this clear in our heads. The difference between buying leads and building relationships. There's a difference. Buying leads is the transaction treadmill. High cost, Zillow leads. You will hear agents that pay thousands of dollars a month leads. And for some people, it's been worthwhile. But Zillow is always a changing target. And they're always changing their payment structure and their plans and all sorts of things. They just went to a new plan at the beginning of the year or the end of last year that started favoring teams and not individual agents. And that caused a lot. You have low client loyalty. You don't know what you're getting with a lead like that. And you could get lucky and get a lovely human. Or you could get someone who's such a pain, but you paid for that lead. Are you gonna pass up on the pain and the you know what? Probably not. You're gonna think, I gotta work with them because I just paid for this person. So you don't want to do that. Also, high agent burnout because it's more transactional. It can burn you out very quickly, working with people that don't align with your values. And it feels like a sales job. You're just trying to get the next person, next person, next person. Actually, there are agents out there that are truly just transactional. And guess what? Shouldn't surprise you, they don't have a lot of repeat or referral business from those leads. It's one and done. And then they start all over again. That's not the model that really grows this business. You want to be, all of you want the goal of being a referral only business. Well, you look nice and dry.
Dry now.
That is great.
Oh my gosh. All of a sudden, the water just shooting into my face.
That's like,
I mean, the inside did need to be like that.
but this morning. Okay, lesson, be careful taking your pet through the car wash with you, or even children too, but. So, building relationships, building that business, it's going to have repeat business and referral business. It's low to no cost. It's all about effort. High loyalty and referrals. That's what you want. You want people who they see you as their agent, not just an agent that they came across. It's sustainable and it's a lot more fun to work with people that you know or that people they refer to you that they know. And it feels like you feel like a community connector. Feels like you have a community of people when you're a referral only business. And I honestly, you should start to see and feel your business making that switch to more working with the people you know and them referring you by the end of your second year or sometime in your third year. You could see it sooner, but traditionally that's what I see is because in the beginning, remember, while you need to be telling everybody you know you're a new agent, you've got to. Some of them might hold tight until they see you actually doing it before they jump on board and start referring you. Yeah, Amy's great. I love her, but I don't know about this real estate thing. And then they start seeing her do it, and then it feels real and she's legit in their eyes. Then that's why sometimes it can take a little time before they see you as real. So, and that's the hard thing because some of you are reluctant to tell your world about your new career, your new business. And so you're just slowing down them thinking of you as being legit. You've got to show them that you're in it. And so you've got to, what's the motto of Missouri? Okay, so think in real estate, I got to show them. I got to show them I'm an agent. I got to prove to them I'm an agent. And just because you don't have business yet or clients yet, that doesn't mean you can't show them you're in the business. Right? Remember the class last week about using other people's listings to promote on your social media? Okay, that's one way to do that. Show them, because they don't know those aren't your listings. Now, remember, you always have to do the right accreditation to that listing agent and their brokerage, and you have to ask for permission to publicize their listing. But once you have that, yeah, people don't know. So that's the difference. Oh, you guys, let me know when that stopped sharing.
It just happened.
Did it? Okay. Sometimes nobody says anything and I'm just going along. Okay, let's go back. Oh, now it's completely missing. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Back. Sorry. Okay, let's keep going. Any questions? Any thoughts? Yes.
I did do the Zillow leads for the 3 months.
What'd you think?
And it was, okay, aside from getting a lot of opportunities to sit down with people and do a listing presentation, which I probably could have done with friends for free. You know, but meeting a stranger in the coffee shop, there were some good opportunities for that. Nothing panned out. None of them were ready to financially buy a home, you know, but I'm like teaching them the steps to buy a home. I'm building trust. I'm teaching them, it was training. Some of them went through, even one of them went through the LinkedIn, you know, trying to see, she had said, oh, very strongly or strongly financially stable, which was the exact opposite of what the lender told me. They were was like, no.
Surprise.
Not ready, didn't have any clue what buying a home was gonna cost, so. And I wasn't ready for getting calls from areas that I didn't sign up for. But like, a lot of agents will just ignore those phone calls, and then that counts as a lead.
Okay.
And like, you'd see this coming up and it's like, so-and-so wants to see this $52,000 home in this area that I'm like, I don't know where that is, and, you know, and I probably would have done that at the beginning, but after a few times, you're just like, no, I know what's gonna happen here, they're not gonna understand the process, and they're not qualified, we're gonna spin our wheels. So I just quit in the end, but.
Thank you for sharing that, because that is the typical, there are nurture leads, they are not now leads, many of them. That doesn't mean there aren't some now leads in there, but you're paying to get a nurture lead that you may be nurturing for 6 months, 12 months.
As a female, I was really amazed and astonished that like everybody that told me was honestly a single female.
Wow. Yeah.
Which was great, but like, it would have made me really uncomfortable. I mean, my husband probably would have gone with me to meet a stranger in any other situation. And so
As you should.
that I hadn't really considered. It's just like, wait, this is way different than this here. This is like.
Definitely.
Who knows?
There are safety issues there. Of meeting, you should never, ever meet with someone without either getting a copy of their driver's license. I would always try to meet them here. Sometimes that's not location or in a public place. Have spouse, partner go with you, or friend or another agent go with you. Shouldn't go. Doug's always such a gentleman. He will always volunteer to go with you if he's available. He's always been very kind about that because he's passionate of making certain that we all feel safe. That's that.
Also with houses, like,
Yeah.
you old house, this kind of like breeding ground for bad people. You know what I mean?
It can be.
You got an open house, and then here comes some guy, and then he's a nutcase, and you're not by yourself, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't, yeah, and here's the beauty about open houses is if you pick a good open house, partner with another new agent, and you'll probably be busy enough that if you were alone, you wouldn't be able to talk to everybody. So it's okay. A lot of lenders will partner with you. Insurance people will partner with you because they want to build a relationship with you. So don't or bring a spouse or a partner and just tell them to go read a book or do something and hang out. It's okay. Your safety is paramount. So thank you for sharing that, Amy, and your perspective, because I know a lot of you think about, I want to try that. I think that's the magic pill. Again,
It's about doing.
uh-huh.
And she's actually had some good success. But, also she's gone through a lot with it too, so. She's kind of cracked the code, but it was enough for me to go, you know, I think that's my database. $100 later.
I had one new agent, Tracy Jacobs, he was in the program, he's a solo agent here. He was a dual career, and so he could afford the leads better because he had another income coming in. So he did buy Zillow leads, and it did help him get his business off the ground. And then he stopped paying for them. But he really worked them and did the follow-up and got some traction. So I'm not saying don't, I'm saying just be very cautious and talk to us about it, and let's kind of, we'll play devil advocate and just help you if that's what you're really wanting to do. Let's talk about the 5 different strategies. Tapping into an agent referral network. We talked about this recently in one of the classes in the last couple of weeks, but here's another little angle that we'll share today. Buying lunch, not leads, much better, or coffee, or drinks, or yeah. The power of client appreciation we're going to talk about and how that turns into business. Creating your own community and being where the people are. So let's get into these. I just know when I was an agent, and I see it in a lot of other agents, because when you don't understand real estate yet, because you're newer, you think there's something magical that other agents are doing to get business. So it won't be unusual when you tell me you're working with a client, I'm gonna ask, Jaden, where'd you get that buyer? Because I want the others to hear, it's usually your database, an open house. I mean, it's those ways that we're teaching you. It wasn't magic, it wasn't voodoo over here. So I like you to see that it's really about what we talk about, and that all of the marketers and leads and what they're promising and talking about. Wow. I could go on, but I won't. Okay. Working with other agents. Remember, we talked about in a recent class, we talked about the value of working with your people that you know out of state. Because for some of you, your very first commission check could be an out-of-town referral. So you need to start educating, and I've seen some of you doing this since the class, educating. Jasmine did it about Florida. She has a lot of people in Florida. So she made a post about, hey, if you're in Florida or want to be in Florida or what have you, I can help you find a great agent where you live. And you know, or you should know, then you can charge a referral fee to that agent that you're handing. You are gifting them a client that they didn't have to spend any money or effort on finding. And so that gift, then they'll pay you. And that's negotiable. You're going to have to decide what you charge for referrals. And sometimes it depends on the quality of the buyer. If you're handing them someone who is pre-approved and solid and all of this, you may charge more. I see the range usually between 20 to 30%. Is in that range is about what I see agents charging as a referral fee. But I've seen 50%. Well, that's because that agent, our agent, went to Cincinnati to his best friend's house and staged the whole house beautifully. There's value to that. He really gifted that agent up there with an amazing home and at a high price point. So that agent was thrilled. Didn't have to have conversations about the condition of the house. It was lovely. So why not be proactive? The concept here is proactively building relationships agents in your feeder markets. Feeder markets mean two things. One, what percent of people move where from Kansas City? And you can see there are feeder markets where, and sometimes maybe it's all about the same percentage, but you can see trends of people moving, like a high portion moving to Texas or a high portion moving to Florida. So, if you see those trends, and you can actually see it in Command under referral tab, you can actually see those trends. So thinking about that, then you need to build relationships with agents in those states, right? And I can't remember if the feeder map will show me cities or just, I think it shows cities. I mean, I think it gets pretty specific, but I haven't looked at it in a while. I was going to look at it this morning and got way late. So, and then build that relationship. So here's what one agent has done. In all of these 5 Legion strategies I'm sharing with you today is something an agent has done recently from this article. Identify the feeder markets. Where are people moving to from your city? And where are they moving? When they're moving to Kansas City, where are they moving from? So figure that out. Then research agents. Find some agents. Now, on our referral tab in Command, you can search on the map and you can actually see not all agents populate this, but you can see how many transactions they've had, how much they've done, all of that. You can see their production. Now, I wouldn't just go on production. Personality, are they the type of person you'd be comfortable referring to? So I think it involves a conversation, but you can start and then say to them, either do a handwritten note, but they're saying build a list of 50 to 100 agents and be proactive and send them. I would actually send a postcard. I would do something like this, but here's what it is. I love paying referral fees. I found you while researching top agents in such and such city. A key area people move from Kansas City to. I would be honored to earn your referral business. I promise to treat your clients from your city to my city. Treat your clients like family and will gladly pay a 30% referral fee. So they're paying like the top of what we usually see. That'll get some agents' attention, right? Why it works, it's personal, it stands out, slightly higher referral fee. I don't like to say the standard is always negotiable, but we do see 25% quite a bit. But that's what you're going to negotiate. And you're offering value and not asking for a favor. Not really. And these are real results. One agent said 50 of these, 2 months later, a call came leading to a cash buyer that closed in 8 days. And this one activity consistently generates several referrals every year. So remember, I focused on the class that we did recently on your out-of-town people. This is the agent side of this equation. Why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Can be a great way. What if you got a couple of referrals a year? That could be an additional just 2 referrals a year. I bet in referral fees, depending on the price point, but knowing the average price in Kansas City is $3.94. If it was a 3% commission, take 20% of that. Would that be okay to make that money for just do a little matchmaking? What do you think? That hourly rate would be really sweet, wouldn't it? Yeah. So don't, and especially when you're new and you don't have instant clients, this could be a way that you're supplementing that until you're building your own clients here, okay? So please, take advantage of this strategy. I think it's brilliant. And for my out-of-town people, I didn't do this part, the agent to agent. Well, and that's because, here's the thing that you guys don't know, or maybe you know. If you've interviewed other brokerages before you came here, if you do a referral with some companies, you have to go through their referral department. Even if you have an agent that you want to refer to and you're going to pay them a referral fee, the company a referral fee, because you have to go through their department, even if you proactively, or they'll find you an agent in their network. So you're forced to pay an additional referral fee for your referral. So not a right or a wrong, it's a different economic model, but know that many companies, we want you doing agent to agent business. That's why we promote, like when you go to, and I hope you do, I hope sooner than later that you go to some out-of-town Keller Williams events, because they're amazing. Next week is Mega Agent Camp. And it is always in August or September. It's in Texas. It's been in Austin. This year's at San Antonio, and I'm so sad I'm not going to be able to go because I went to the leadership mega camp in May. So it didn't make sense to go to both of them. But it's a phenomenal opportunity. And one of the reasons you go is to network and meet other agents and build relationships for this very purpose. And there are agents who dress in these costumes to get your attention, or passing out their cards, or little like pop by stuff. So some people, what's the one guy? Oh, his last name is Butler. He dressed as a butler and he had a silver tray. And he's like going around introducing himself. Yeah, it's fun. So some people are really clever, but they do a really good job. I would then, and I mentioned this in the class recently, I would then, with those people, I would have an email campaign talking about the great things of Kansas City. Like I would do an email that talks about the plaza and show some pictures. I'd do something about, having the only women's soccer stadium. I would do the really cool things about our city instead of just putting them on your client newsletter. They don't care about your client newsletter. You want to remind them you're the Kansas City agent and get them excited about Kansas City. Because a lot of people, I went to an alumni event for my old school, and we have a new head of the school. I went to a private school. So he moved from out of town. And he said, I had no idea until I came here. Kansas City was nothing like I had expected in all the good ways. I said, yeah, we're a little sleepy secret. We are. Okay, any questions on the agent referrals? Anybody gonna do that? Okay. Think about this. Strategy number 2, buy lunch, not leads.
I could have paid for a lot of lunches for $5.50 a month.
Dang, yes.
A lot of coffees.
And with people that you like.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't.
Anything, it just gave me the match of.
I know, and it's hard because I know, here's what I found is agents fall in one of two camps, almost 100%. Either, and this is even experienced agents, either they will say to me, don't make me call people I don't know. I'll call people I know all day long. Or, please don't make me call the people I know. I'll call strangers.
I wanted to practice on strangers.
I get that. I get that. That's legit. I definitely get that. But it's usually at the detriment of you building and strengthening these relationships. because you feel like you put this on hold. Don't put this on hold. Because again, if you're not showing them, I'm an agent, I can help, how can I help? These are the things I can do, and showing value, come to one of my seminars, like the downsizing, all those things, then their mindset's not gonna switch. You've actually delayed them thinking of you as an agent because you focused on strangers. So you want to make sure, are you spending hundreds and thousands per month on online leads? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Pivot and reallocate that budget. Amy's being so transparent, and thank you.
Well, you know what? Angel told me not to do it. I did go to him, and he was like, I'm canceling my solo leads, but I had to figure it out.
I get it. I know you're not gonna listen to us every time, but at least give us an opportunity to give our pitch. And I know some of you are gonna have to find out you're all on your own. I get it. So your new mantra is, I'm a relationship person. We're in the relationship business. You know, houses is this much of what we do. People is what we do. Houses is this much of what we do. And if you forget that, you're gonna have a hard time, I think, in this business. So when we talk about this, oh, it didn't have much on that one, but oh, yes, it does. It skipped. There we go. Skipped a page on me. The return of investment of relationships, the activity. Take 2 to 3 people from your sphere, past clients, friends, lenders, inspectors, to lunch or coffee every single week. And maybe you just say, meet me for coffee. Maybe you don't offer to buy. Mary Beth Schwartz of this office, one of our most successful single agents. Well, she's got one person on her team. She, in her first 6 months of real estate, I think she said she did like around 20 open houses, got nothing. But every day she met with somebody, at least one person, for coffee, drinks, something. And for her first 6 months, she had no business. Second half of her year, because, she did it every day, because she's a beast. And I say that lovingly. She's like your mom, your grandma. She has that drive, that work ethic, and I know not all of us, or many of us will do this, but I want to give you this real life example. How many transactions did she do in her second half of her first year? How many? 43. Yeah, crazy. That's exceptional. That's like crazy.
She did the investor.
Well, no, it wasn't just, it was
Okay.
investors, but she was meeting with everybody. Everybody and anybody, and then she had her niche of
She went that direction with the investment. She had to mix the clientele first.
So how high is your level of activity? If it's this much, it's not enough, and you're not getting results, you gotta do more. And so the agenda, and you don't have to have an agenda, you don't have to go meet with them and be salesy, please don't. It's a huge turnoff. Build relationships, learn about them, learn about what they do for a living, learn about their family. And then organically, what you do will come into the conversation. Don't breathe real estate on them unless they ask those questions. Amy.
I go to church and there's a ton of young families and I started working girls tell these. And I've met a lot of young families that way, and then it always comes, oh, neighborhood, we just chat about that. Yeah, because eventually they're gonna grow out of it, all these babies, but it's been a fun way to like meet people that are not in my sphere that go to church, and then they know me the next time at church because I brought the lasagna. And I know the baby's game and all that stuff, and that's been a really fun way to connect with people.
And build relationships.
And
And
it's
be,
not to be home cooked, I like grab them from cafeteria and meals.
oh yeah,
or
that's
somewhere.
lovely.
Yeah,
You know, Social Suppers across the street,
yeah, that's.
they have prepared meals that are really good.
Neighbors down the street and like, so I'm just. Cause I know they're gonna grow out of the house, you know?
And we also do it for the people that they know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
I have a friend who needs help. Hey, this lady in church is going through, she's an agent.
Yeah.
Can I refer you?
Yeah.
Please remember, for every person that you know or build a relationship, just because now is not their time and you think it'll be in years, you keep that relationship because of the people they know. And we know statistically, every single one of us has on average a circle of people around us. Guess how many? How many people you have naturally in your orbiting your world? That doesn't mean you talk to them every day, but it could be every day, the people you talk to weekly, monthly, maybe twice a year. What do you think that orbit is? That how many people is that on average for all of us?
Thinking they say 50.
215.
Ooh, closer, 200. So remember, because when I was new and somebody'd say, oh, Kristen, I'm never moving, I'd be like, dang, take them off the list. Well, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. I thought that was, okay, they're done. I didn't understand that we all have other people and they can refer people to me and I can still be of value. What I didn't know is I can say, that's fine, but I want to be your resource if you need a plumber or a painter. I didn't know to have those conversations. So I lost some people off my database that I quit communicating with because I thought it was a one and done. I didn't understand we're in a bigger world than that. I wish I had. And the magic is during the conversation, of course, it's going to come back to what's in your world. That's the magic of this and building the relationships. I remember telling one of our agents, she said, you mean I don't have to cold call? She's like, I don't think if that's what real estate's about, I cannot do that. I will not do that. So I get that. Some people do that and they're great at it, and then others can't. I said, well, what if you had coffee on a regular basis with people you know? She said, you mean I can go have coffee or lunch and hang out with people I like? I love this. That's Suzanne Wessel. Suzanne Wessel is a successful agent here, and also she and her partner, Heather, they have her business partner, have a home staging company, and they are one of our service providers. But that was Suzanne Wessel when she was
Her
married.
neighbor, she's sweet, she's also just a very nice person.
She's just the sweetest
She's a
human.
very nice neighbor.
But yes, that was her saying, I can't do that, because she's a very shy, but lovely and warm person. So she couldn't see herself doing that. Appreciation. Clients want to know you care. I was taught this by Diana Kokoska, who used to be the head of KW Maps Coaching, and that is the coaching arm of KW International that provides all the training and coaching programs. And so as a productivity coach, I have attended a lot of trainings over 12 years, a ton of trainings. And Diana used to say, people will not trust you until they know you care. I'm gonna say that again. People will not trust you until they know you care. That's why coming off salesy is such a turnoff for most people, because they think you're only seeing dollar signs instead of them. And this shouldn't be a transactional business. This is a relational business. If you're building it to last. And so the key idea here is not asking for business, but giving back and reinforcing relationships. So a lot of agents do client events, and you might think, but Kristen, I don't have clients yet. You know what I did? I highly recommend this. This was very successful for me. I did a party to launch my new business. I threw a party. I rented a space at a restaurant. Had appetizers. I was able to bring my own. It was a champagne reception. And it was help toast my new business with me. Because people didn't think of me as a real estate agent. They thought of me as what I did in the past, okay? And guess what? So Champagne sounds kind of ritzy, right? Right? Guess why I picked Champagne? It's cheap, and most people won't drink very much of it. But it sounds ritzy. So I had a Champagne kickoff party. I also invited the head of the company, and also my broker and our in-house lender, because I wanted them to see the team that surrounded me. And the head of the company, Jerry Reese, because I was with Reese Nichols at the time, he goes, I've never been invited to one of these. I like thinking outside the box. And I love marketing, and several of my former positions were event planning. So right up my alley, I like to give a party. I'm all about creating an experience. But do you guys know that you can reserve any of the spaces here? You don't have to rent a space. This would have been so ideal. That patio out there, it's lovely. Many of our agents have done events out there. Thrive, one of our biggest teams, did in June, beginning of June, they did a summer party. I think it was an ice cream, and they had bounce houses on the front lawn in the evening out there, and it rained that night. So they had to come inside. We've done pictures with Santa. We've done fall festivals. One of our teams does bubbles and Botox.
Yeah, thank you.
So that you could come and get, well, it wasn't free Botox, but it was highly discounted Botox. I know, I'm not doing that. I don't like pain, so that just doesn't appeal to me. It's tempting, but I'm like, oh no, no. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of things you can do, but let's talk about some stuff that is actually pretty free. So you can give away, well, one is a lot of our agents do a Thanksgiving pie giveaway. And you don't have to do expensive pies. You can do, I actually, Costco stopped allowing pre-orders of pies, and it is because it's our fault as agents. No, I know it is.
Every order of pies, we were giving-
And then they don't pick them up. So, and they're too big in my mind for most families. Those pies are too big. I mean, you could do a small Walmart pie, just so. And some agents will deliver the pies. Don't do that. Unless you only have two people you're delivering to.
Yeah.
I see these agents who stack them in their car and they're driving for days around town because your database does not live in the same place.
Some do a professional photo shoot where they hire a photographer. and a
That's one of my
photographer.
favorites.
I think that's so great because.
That's one of my favorites.
With a photographer to get your holiday picture.
We did it for our growth coaching group 2 years ago. We sponsored together an event, and we could do that as a launch group. We could sponsor an event that you all share the cost in.
Yeah.
And photo one is one, pies could be another, so that you're sharing that cost. So don't think you have to do these things all by yourself. Matter of fact, some of my growth clients, they did beer tasting together, wine tasting, and I'm going to talk about a wine thing here in a minute. So this is where the agents who do this, most of them are inviting people here to the office, and they'll have appetizers and some beverages so people can hang out a little bit and pick up their pie. Some will just have a pickup in the parking lot. They'll have a little, tent thing, and tell people it's kind of a drive-through, and especially during COVID, it's like, here's your pie. So that could be something you do. It's very, very popular. And if you think about it, November is a perfect time to show gratitude and thank people. Thank people, even if they haven't given you business yet, thank them for that relationship, okay? This tells you, you've got to figure out your budget, the setup, the interaction, and then following up. Hey, it was so great to see you. I hope the pie was good. I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving, and here's to a wonderful new year coming up. Have fun over the holidays. Let's catch up in January. Right? You gotta have that follow-up to keep sticky with people. And this can be easy and fun. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have, you know, some appetizers. But a good thing would be, do donuts and coffee, like for our photo shoot that we did. Had one photographer, I had 9 growth agents participate. They invited their database. We filled up all of the slots in the morning and we served, because it was in the fall, we served donuts and coffee and apple cider. That's it. That's it. Super simple. And it was a beautiful fall day. My husband has a vintage 57 Chevy truck.
Oh.
We brought it as the prop so people could sit, and I had straw bales and stuff that people could pose with the 57 on the back, on the tailgate of the 57 Chevy. And it's a really cute blue color. So it made for great photos, but people love, think about it. Most families don't get their family photo done because it's a lot of work or they feel it's expensive. And so what the agent would do is pay for one photo. And then if the clients wanted more, then they would make those arrangements with the photographer. Let's talk about another. Come on, here we go. Where's the other one? It's in here somewhere. Create a community, host an event that connects people with each other. Was simple with you as just the facilitator. When you help people build relationships. One of my favorite humans, Helen, she's amazing. She is such a connector and networks with so many people. Yeah. Start small. Your first event doesn't need to be 300 people. I did, as an agent, I did a client event a year and I'd invite 200 people to my house. I do not advise that. I do not. It was near-death experiences. I'd be crawling the next day. Like, oh God. Now I live on acreage, so I had the room, but just trying to orchestrate that between myself and my husband. Oh my God, I do not recommend. Do not. It was, people had fun. We had sack races. We had lots of stuff going on, but it was near-death experience for me. So I would start small, and especially because you don't have the budget to do it. And that's A-okay. Here's a really fun, this is what, and it doesn't have to be a ladies' night out. It could be a beer. So the idea is each guest brings 2 identical bottles of wine. And you're going to do a wine tasting. And so the game is at tables of 8, 1 bottle for each person is set. And then 1 bottle or the other 8 are put in bags for sampling, okay? For blind tasting. The women or the people at the table sample and rate the 8 wines. The person who brought the winning wine gets to take all 8 of the other bottles home. Now think, as a host, you didn't buy those bottles of wine. You can have appetizers and stuff like that. But can you imagine? That's very affordable and fun. I actually used to do, when I was in the corporate world, well, I'm a workaholic, so I'm easily just work. And to the neglect of my friends and people I know. And so a while back, it's been a while and I want to do it again because again, I do this. I decided that I wanted to create an event every month that I called Girlfriend Gatherings. And I really highlighted what were my friends good at. So one of my friends was great at scrapbooking, because that was a thing back then. So I had her, I invited everybody, let's learn about scrapbooking. And so I had her do that, and I'd have most of these at my house. I had one of my friends who was really good at prepping meals for the week. So I had her come. I even had a master gardener come and talk about gardening to my girlfriends. Or one time we went to the city market, or to the Overland Park, market on a Saturday, and then went and had coffee. I did that because I was missing the connections with my friends, and so I had to be purposeful in trying to connect with them. And not the same people came every month, and that's what was lovely. I had it where they brought their favorite book and talked about it instead of a book club, because most of us are too busy to read a book. And then we did a book exchange. So they would bring a book that they want to exchange, and it this big wooden bowl, and it'd say, put your books in and then pick out something you want to take.
I thought about, Mahjong.
That's
And
very
maybe
popular right
introducing
now.
it into, like hiring a Mahjong teacher to come and.
So fun.
Oh my gosh, let's all learn together, and once we know it, I'll do this monthly or something.
So think of things, it doesn't have to be girl stuff,
Right.
right?
There you go.
Poker night.
It can be poker night, it can be bourbon tasting, it can be whiskey tasting, it can be beer tasting, it can be,
Chiefs game.
yeah, tailgating.
Invite every Chiefs game, come to my house.
Yeah.
I'll have, you know.
One of our teams does that. They've done it here several times during football season, inviting people, just come, let's watch the Chiefs game together. And all they do is, and you can ask people to bring an appetizer.
Yeah.
People don't, you don't have to provide everything. So think of these ways, and actually, what I love is it's actually giving you a reason to reach out and be around people that maybe you haven't been around just because you're both so busy. So real estate can actually help you reconnect with people that you really care about and like, because you've got those people in here. I've got people in here I think about often, especially if I see them on social media, that I haven't seen for years, and I'm like, why? Why haven't I? I was like, dang, I need to, if I don't do something on purpose and be purposeful. Again, this cost is practically nothing. And you could get sponsors, but appetizers are easy. And you could even ask them, bring 2 bottles of wine and an appetizer or some sweets. I don't know. Or you do it all. But again, very low cost. Secret to authentic networking. That's what this is all about, is people do business and refer business to people they know, like, and trust. And do you know that the majority of people find their agent through someone they knew or know? Not from blind searches out there. Yeah, that happens, but the higher percent of people, because they trust their friend to recommend an agent. Most people do. Now, here's the thing. That's where, if you've wanted to volunteer for a nonprofit, do it. It's a great way to network and meet people. But don't join a group or a club just to get business, because people can smell your commission breath. Because you're not doing it because it's something you're passionate. You don't do it to get the business, but it's highly likely it will get you business. Do the things you love and connect with people. And take it the step further, because if you're going to network in these areas, so say you start volunteering in an organization and you really meet some cool people, then the next step is, let's go get coffee. Learn more about them. Continue to build the relationship deeper. When people say, I want to join the chamber, great, want to cost you money. And if you go to those coffees and hand out a lot of cards, if your next step wasn't asking them to go to lunch or have coffee so you can learn more about their work and their business, then you just wasted your time and money, from my perspective. Cause that wasn't a relationship, that was just you handing out cards. And hoping something happens from it. So do it the right way, get involved in something you're generally passionate about with zero agenda except to help. That's where you build relationships. Here's an accident. This is, not everybody can afford to join a country club. But in this example of an agent, they joined not because for business, but it was a lifelong dream for their spouse, and the agent started taking tennis lessons. By building friendships while playing tennis with no agenda, she met people who wanted to support her business, and referrals started flowing in. And this is the statistic that made a huge difference. That one lifestyle change for her, her average sales price increased from 248 to 998,000. That paid for I'm sure that helped pay for that country club. So it doesn't have to be a country club, but what do you enjoy doing? Do you like to play golf? Do you like to pickleball? Do you like volunteering to help pets? Do you like, are you So what I would do right now, and I'm probably gonna start doing it, is I love to make things. I'm very crafty. Matter of fact, this weekend, I've got to start and make progress on my entry at the Renaissance Festival. I entered the Fairy House contest. Last year I got second place out of 300 and some odd entries. Pretty proud of it. So this year I've got it, I have 2 weeks, I have 2 weeks to get it all done. I've been assembling all my supplies and stuff. But I think when I start doing my girlfriend's gatherings again, I'm gonna do like craft nights. Cause I love making stuff. And people see what I make and they're like, how do you do that? How do you do those fairy houses? So I could get all the stuff and invite my friends, come make fairy houses with me, or come make this holiday wreath or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. Cause I love doing it. And then I get to hang out with people I like. Yeah. It can make a difference. Find your place. School, whether it's a school involvement, a good portion of my business came from my daughter's school. I'm an alum there. I was also on the alumni board. And when your kid's in school someplace, you're there a lot. Right? I was there to drop her off. I was there to pick her up, any of the school events. And that is where some of my first business come from. Actually, my first piece of business was one of the staff members, the development director. She used me to help her buy a house in Brookside. I even remember where it is. It's a cute little thing, little bungalow. And then I helped another teacher, and then I helped her kids, and then I started helping parents. So that school involvement paid off. Also my past work. Big source of business for me, big source of business for me. And it didn't happen on day one. I'm not gonna fib to you. It took until my second half of my first year and started my second year for those things to really take off, because they had to realize I was an agent. Local charities, interest groups, service organizations. Again, do what you're passionate about, what you care about. So of these 5, that agent-to-agent referral network, invest in relationships, not just online ads, those coffees, those lunches, those cocktails. Create a signature event, appreciation event, do a kickoff event for your business. It's one of the best ways to really get people to understand you're starting a new career, you're starting a new business, is having an event. And it doesn't have to cost you money. You can host it right here. You can host it at your house. Don't think big. Think having friends over to celebrate your new business. One of our agents, she worked as a server at a bar. And so it was only natural that she holds her kickoff event there, and her boss said, yeah, you can have the space. And he even helped pay for some of the stuff, some of the alcohol and stuff, perfect. Perfect. Build community by connecting with people, find those things that you do, like the wine night or what have you. And then get involved in your community without an agenda. So here's your challenge. I want you to choose one of these things. You can choose more than one, but usually choosing one, you'll have the time and effort to do it well. And then commit to doing it. And say, I'm gonna do this by this date. I would say, here's what I'm gonna tell you. You need to commit to one of these today or tomorrow. And then put it on your calendar of when you're starting this, or when you're holding that event, or when you're joining that organization. Or when you're volunteering. Because if you put it off, you probably won't do it. Like I've been thinking about my craft night for 6 months now. I said it the first year I was gonna do it, and I've let everything else get in the way. And I'm like, I gotta stop that. And I know for me, it's putting it on my calendar, then I have to see it. It's like, oh dang, I said I was gonna do that. But if I just have it out here in my head, then it can just keep being pushed back. What'd you learn today? Doug?
I'm gonna do some kind of event or do something. I got a pass, a 1 month pass to Chiefs Fit. So I gotta figure out how I'm going to do a giveaway for that.
Okay,
And that way I wanna be able to collect some, broaden my database, I guess you would say.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna look at the date on it. So I know when I'm gonna host the event and then
love it.
give it a win.
Another idea for an event is donations. Several of our agents do a coat drive or a food drive once a year. And they'll have appetizers and stuff here for people to drop off the stuff, or they'll go and get stuff from their people. They'll go do pickups. I wouldn't recommend pickup. Make them come to you, right? Cause you can be more efficient that way. But if you're passionate about, making sure food pantries have enough food. No, there's harvesters, there's a lot you can do. And people appreciate people who give back, because here's the thing, we're not always seen in a positive light as real estate agents. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're down there with used car salesmen. We are. In reputation, we are. And a lot of people see us as salesy and just money driven. So giving back to the community shows a different light, because we do powerful things in communities. We help people buy and sell in communities, and that can change and enhance communities. So we have a powerful position, and giving back to the community, I think, proves that we're vested in doing something bigger and better than just making money off of people. And unfortunately, some people just see us that way. So break that. What else? What else? What spoke to you of those 5 things? Amy, what are you gonna do?
So I think taking action, like I love generating ideas, but actually doing them, so I pulled up, I had actually a mortgage lender, because she like follows me on social media,
Mhm.
realized how much I love animals, and so she made me this like flyer to hand out at dog parks. And it says, doggos, do your parents need a bigger yard, take a treat on me and have them call me. And so while you were talking, I just pulled up on Amazon, like you could get little mini milk bone, like individual sized baggies. But I was thinking maybe instead of like, I could do a dog park, but like maybe I go to Wayside Waste and like have a basket, and they're willing to put that out there, because people are gonna need all the time
Mm-hmm.
getting a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Picture with the new people need, and all of a sudden, like, oh shoot, we don't have a fenced yard, or, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
It
dog
might be
park.
completely different than the dog, but
Yeah,
it's just a way to.
I love that.
communicate.
I love that. So think of those special
And maybe
things.
even that.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. And your pets are very, I
I mean, a
mean,
groomer, love them too.
See? see, the ideas are percolating. Doug has his, Jody, what stood out to you that you think that you would want to do?
I kinda like the idea. Just sitting down with coffee.
Okay, taking people to coffee,
Yeah.
network.
Volunteering in the shelters or something like that. I like that. I like being on horses and stuff like that.
And there's a lot of, not a lot, but there's several. There's saddle clubs, there's also Heartland Therapeutic Riding. You know, there's a lot, there's also some charities that horses are part of, so I love that. Do something that you love and are passionate about. Olivia, what about you? So coffees and stuff like that, or just hanging out, going? Yeah, whatever that looks like for you. Yeah, that's important, but be purposeful. And put that on the calendar when you're gonna start doing that, and how many would you ideally like to do a week? You have to be the one that makes it happen. Jaden, what about you?
I really like all of that. So.
Okay, good deal. Okay, that's awesome. Megan, what about you?
I would like to build more time for net feeding coffees and things like that.
Yeah.
Start nurturing my family.
Yeah. Those in person,
I send emails and post things, I don't get it one-on-one time, as much as I like to.
yeah. Pick your favorite people. Do it with the favorite people first.
It's almost like, I feel the same, maybe just carving out every Thursday at 10 every Saturday, and
Being more consistent.
yeah, there's always that spot I carved out. And you understand that.
Mhm.
Some agents actually do coffee hours. And they post on their social media. I follow a couple agents who do this on a regular basis and say, Thursday, I'll be at Crow's Coffee from 9 to 11. Stop by and see me. I'll buy you a cup of coffee. So, and she's always has at least one or two people who come by to see her and talk and hang out. So that's great. Ellie, what about you? What stood out and what are you leaning towards?
I really like the referral network and doing some sort of giveaway.
Mhm. Cool. Love that. Claire, what about you? What stood out? What are you gonna do? She may or may not be able to talk.
Oh, there we go.
There she is.
Okay. I really like the idea of doing like a get together and broadening it maybe every other month. So it's not
Yeah.
an every month commitment, but I think that would really help get me out there and get some friends closer together. It's been a while. I think that would be really good.
Yeah, I would, if I was to do it again, I wouldn't do it every month. That was a lot for me to pull off every month. I loved it and it was a lot. Tamisha, what about you? Okay, well, we'll have to check in on Tamisha later. Okay, hope this was helpful. Hope it gave you some good ideas. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. It's your effort that counts. Because remember, it's people we do. And you have to connect with people. You have to build relationships or deepen relationships. Take advantage of real estate forcing you to be around the people you like and care about more. What a lovely problem to have. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And I will be asking and checking